Pay-to-win games are defined as when players have an unfair disadvantage against those who don't spend money and just play the game for free. When money is involved wherein you can purchase items that will give you leverage against other players, then the game is considered as pay-to-win. Normally we see this in games wherein there's PvP content, but in the case of PvE games, I think it's wrong to say that it's pay-to-win. I have been addicted to massive multiplayer games all my life, and I have tons of experience playing the free-to-play genre of the gaming industry. In fact, one of my favorite games right now is Warframe, which by the way has a lot of similarities to the game we will be talking about in this video. Warframe has one of the best microtransaction models for a free-to-play game, and this is why it survived the test of time and keeps getting better after 10 years in the gaming industry. There are tons of new competition, but they falter because they lack that sensation wherein it scratches the looter itch, or they just don't have the right element to be a successful game for a very long period. The First Descendant is kind of different though, and based on my experiences playing the betas of the game, I can say that this game can potentially be a good alternative for those who are craving a new looter shooter game. It's not a Warframe killer, but it shows potential to be a great free-to-play looter shooter game. The only problem though is that players are scared because it's a Nexon game, and the developers have some not so good track record when it comes to monetization, and the biggest question that gamers are asking right now is if the First Descendant is a pay-to-win game. The answer to this is a big not yet, simply because there's nothing in the game that you pay and gain an unfair advantage against other players. In the new beta, Nexon showcased how their microtransaction will work, and its main money-making method is through Battle Pass. The Battle Pass has an ultimate rocket launcher weapon though, and the whole Battle Pass in general gives me that Destiny 2 vibes wherein there's a bunch of boosters, skins, and a seasonal weapon that is only obtainable through the Battle Pass. This does tick me off a bit since you get a new ultimate weapon with a unique ability only available in the Battle Pass. However, I would not doom the game and say that it's pay to win since the new beta only showed a portion of the game, and we might be able to farm the weapon included in the Battle Pass along the way. There were only 2 regions that were unlocked, and the new activities that we can do in the open areas of the game. The Void Intercept missions, which are the big boss fights, weren't as deep as the second beta, wherein we can test some builds and farm those high-end gears for our descendants. If somehow Nexon decides that their model of Battle Pass will be the same as Destiny 2 did, then I have no complaints about it because this is exactly what I expected from a free-to-play game. They have to make money to support their live service game, and I don't mind buying the Battle Pass as long as they keep the story quests, all activities, and future updates free. In addition, I don't see any huge gap on the weapon in the Battle Pass when you compare it to the rocket launcher you can get from grinding in the game. The only thing that they could do better in their Battle Pass is that give more rewards after you hit the max level. In Destiny 2, you will get bright engrams every 5 levels once you have hit the max level of the Battle Pass. Nexon could provide additional benefits for those players who have purchased the Battle Pass and not just end the benefit at max rank. They could add enhancement materials or even boosters to lessen the grind. You see, I would not say that the microtransaction of the First Descendant is pay to win right now, since most of the stuff that we get from paying with real money is for convenience. Before we proceed further, I would also like to clarify a few things about the current Battle Pass of the First Descendant. The Battle Pass levels require you to do specific missions that don't do the normal shoot tons of enemies until they die to level up your Battle Pass rank. Warframe players will know how this works, as it's more like the Night Wave wherein you do challenges to level up your Battle Pass rank. You don't buy battle coins, by the way, but you buy Battle Pass levels with Caliber. Each level gives you 15 battle coins, and each page has 8 items on it. 7 of these items will cost 10 battle coins, and 1 for 50 battle coins, to a total of 120 battle coins per page. You can buy battle coins by doing daily and weekly challenges, so theoretically you don't need to buy battle coins with Caliber once you have purchased the Battle Pass, just to progress and not get all the items from the season. There are 96 Battle Pass levels in the game, and every day you can gain 6,000 Battle Pass experience, so that's 2 Battle Pass levels per day. Every week you can get 24,000 Battle Pass experience, so that's about 8 Battle Pass levels. All in all, it would take you under 5 weeks to finish the Battle Pass, and that's a reasonable time frame to have before the developer decides to make another season after a couple of months. If this is your first time playing a free-to-play game, then welcome to the genre wherein developers create problems that can be solved with real money. In paid games, you will pay once and enjoy hours of content of that game you have just purchased. In free-to-play games, you can enjoy the game without paying, but be prepared for those limited equipment slots, horrible drop chances from items, or even limited crafting resources that can only be solved by clicking purchase on your screen. Welcome to the free-to-play genre, boys, and all of these can be seen in the First Descendant. For a player like me, who has played a lot of free-to-play games, I wasn't surprised that all of these things added to the game. It's generic free-to-play mechanics, and I have seen worse from other games that force their fans to buy the game and then add a season pass to profit more money. In addition, the First Descendant also has the same microtransaction as Warframe, wherein if you want to level up faster, then you can purchase a booster from the shop. If you want to farm important important resources faster, then they also have that type of boosters in the shop. And finally, if you don't want to farm descendants in the game, then they have the option to pay for premium currency and get the descendant in one click of a button. The same grind from Warframe can also be seen in acquiring characters in the First Descendant, wherein you need to farm amorphous materials, or what we call relics in Warframe, then have to do another mission again to unlock those relics, and have a chance to get the crafting components for a specific descendant. If you don't like playing with RNG, then the game offers an easy route to get all descendants in the game by purchasing it with the premium currency, which definitely you can buy with real money. The same goes with the weapons in the game, and if you played Warframe for a very long time, then you know sometimes how crazy the drop chance of these crafting materials is. On top of that, you will also need to farm resources to craft the necessary parts for your weapons and descendants. As I have said, I wasn't surprised when I saw this kind of game loop in a free-to-play game. In fact, I was not surprised also that you have a limited equipment slot in the game, so basically if you see a lot of loot on the ground, you will need to dismantle some of your items so you can pick the new loot. If that is a hassle for you, or you have the best items in the game and you don't have room for new loot anymore, then the best solution is to buy an equipment slot which is purchasable with Caliber. What I did not expect is the crazy RNG on coloring your characters. They call this in the game as paints, and what it does is it gives a new set of colors to your character skins. Instead of a feature like Warframe, wherein you are given a few color palettes to work with, the developer decided that you need to grind for those epic colors. The worst is that once you have equipped a paint into a descendant skin, you can't equip it to another descendant, and you would need to remove it, and that will be a hassle. In addition, paints only work for those skins that are purchased from the market, and they don't work with the default skin of a descendant. Now, the First Descendant is a gorgeous game, and I know many players will be playing the game and taking part in the fashion wars, but it's absurd to put colors behind a grindy RNG farm. And it has limitations wherein I really think that the developers are also planning to monetize big time in the future. The default colors of the skins in the First Descendant are awesome, but I know probably that many of you would like to color their characters to look cooler, or just straight up troll the internet with monstrous color combinations. I hope that the developers will see how Warframe customization works and will somehow apply it to their game. In addition, the game really needs a photo mode wherein you can select the angles and background. This game is really gorgeous, and it would be a waste not to have a feature wherein players can capture a great screen from the game and make it as their own wallpaper. Now, let's talk about gameplay. In the new beta, the developers switch it up, and you might wonder at launch where all my loot go once you played the final game. In the second beta, the defense mission in Kingston was the best in terms of leveling your descendants fast. It was also the best way to farm gold and lots of weapons that you can turn into resources to upgrade your modules, but in the final technical test, the defense mission is now only good for leveling your descendant and farming gold at the same time. Exon has shaken up the farming method, and instead of one mission to farm them all, they have added these rewards in open world activities such as recon missions, void fragments, and void reactors. Honestly, this is a big win for the game, and the new recon and void missions in the open world made the areas more alive. Players during the second beta complained about the open world being nothing but a wasteland after doing the story quest missions, but right now, there are missions in the open world that rewards you with loot. It also holds amorphous materials, and as well as modules that will make your descendants and weapons stronger. Long story short, once you finish a specific field, you now have a reason to get back and farm loot. The only thing I don't like about the new void fragment mission in the open world areas is that they need a specific damage type to be activated. Say if you are in the sterile land, then the only way to activate void fragments is to own a descendant that can either do fire or electric damage. There are also void fragments that will only activate if you attack it with a non-attribute skill. Basically, if you chose Ajax as your starter descendant, then you can activate the void fragment in Kingston, but you will have problems with activating the void fragments in the next field. This means that before you can farm all those modules and other items in the void reactor missions, you will need to unlock descendants with attribute attacks to activate them. It feels weird why they decided to go this route, as these fragments can just be activated with a simple press of a button instead of locking it with specific damage types. I don't like the idea wherein I need to wait until I get a specific descendant to unlock a void fragment, as it would sometimes poor choice to just purchase a descendant from the shop instead of farming the parts and building it in the research lab. As I have said, I don't mind paying for battle pass and other microtransactions in the game as long as it doesn't hinder gameplay progression and it doesn't affect or limit my fun of playing the game. I just hope that the developers will change this in the final game and they will not lock us from activating these activities through specific descendant abilities, because honestly it would take a lot of grind, since one, there is a reset timer after completing the void fragment and you would wait for a couple of minutes to grind for it again. And secondly, the resources to activate the void reactor, which you can get from void fragments, cost a lot, and it would take a couple of minutes just to activate one void reactor. On top of that, it's not always guaranteed that the loot you want will be the one that you get from that run. Overall, these void missions in the open world areas have a good concept, but have one bad mechanic that I think should be removed in the final game. Other than that, I enjoy the gameplay of looting and farming in the First Descendant, especially the void intercept missions wherein you fight big boss bosses that drop some of the best loot in the game to upgrade your Descendant and weapons power. The First Descendant really scratches the itch of playing a new free-to-play looter shooter game, and I will surely be playing the final version of the game. The developers still have time to polish their game before releasing it, and I just hope you guys who participated in the final technical test give you feedback on the survey. Based on what I'm seeing following this game's development for years now, the developers are listening to their community, and in fact, most of the player feedback from the first and second beta was implemented in the game. The final technical test was short, but it just made me want to play the final release of the game. The First Descendant is not pay to win, and I hope that it will stay that way in the future. It would be nonsense to put PvP in this game, in my opinion, as it's not a first-person shooter like Destiny 2. It's more built towards PvE gameplay, and I also hope that it will stay this way. However, I wish that Nexon would not be ruining this game with greedy microtransactions that instead of suggesting players buy an item to lessen the grind, it will feel like you will need that item to progress in the game. The First Descendant is a generic free-to-play game model wherein you will pay for convenience, but I hope that they will remove those crazy things that they are implementing in the game, such as the paint shenanigans and forcing players from buying items with real money, because the chances of getting it free is pretty slim. Now, many are suggesting that the First Descendant should also have player trading and let players sell items for premium currency, just like Platinum and Warframe. Honestly, free-to-play gamers are alive in Warframe because of player trading, and I can understand why they want it in the First Descendant. However, there could be a possibility also that the developers will lower the drop chance of items even more in the game, since we now have the option to just go into the trade region and buy it with the premium currency. Trading is like a double-edged sword for us players, and I don't think that everyone will agree on this. So that's all about it. I hope that I have given you all the information that you need before trying the final game. Nexon will be announcing the release date of the First Descendant on June 7th, and I hope that before the release date, we will get some dev notes on their page saying that they changed some of their microtransactions and further improved the game. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you again in our next video. Squad Leader, signing off.